While handing out flyers, I saw my girlfriend Alicia disheveled and passionately kissing the school hunk in a sports car. When I knocked on the window, the school hunk asked her, "Who's this?" Alicia, leaning against him, said, "Just a simp. If you don't like it, I'll break up with him right away." After kissing the school hunk, she didn't even look at me and turned away. The school hunk licked his lips where my girlfriend had kissed and mocked. "Leave. Beauties only belong to the strong." I asked, "I don't care about my girlfriend, but why are you in my car?" The atmosphere became awkward. The school hunk gripped the steering wheel, staring at me dumbfounded. "What do you mean your car?" "This is my car," I said. I opened the glove compartment and took out the registration. "Look, it has my name on it. Why are you in my car? Are you stealing it? I'll call the police right now." The school hunk turned red, hurriedly got out of the car, and whispered to me, "Don't call the police. My dad's a mechanic. I saw this car looked nice and borrowed it for a spin. Please don't call the police." I widened my eyes and loudly said, "You call this borrowing? This is theft. Can repair shops steal cars in for maintenance?" The school hunk lowered his head and whispered, "Bro, I'm sorry." I sighed. "Don't get familiar. Let me check the car's condition first." He didn't dare speak, and I soon found a dent on the hood. I said angrily, "What's this about?" The school hunk panicked and quickly said, "It's not my fault. Your girlfriend insisted on sitting on the hood to take selfies and posted a bunch of provocative photos on her moments. That's the evidence." I checked my phone and saw nothing. The school hunk quickly showed me his phone. It turned out Alicia had blocked me. Looking at her WeChat moments, I tooted. "Such bold photos." "Fine. You can go back. I'll keep these photos as evidence. You both prepare for a court summons." The school hunk was stunned and whispered, "Bro, will it cost a lot?" I said, "About 100,000. In an instant, his face turned pale. The school hunk hurriedly said, "But it was her who damaged it. Do I have to pay too?" I rolled my eyes. "Don't you understand the law? You're both responsible. Your dad's work this year is for nothing." The proud school hunk burst into tears. "That stupid girl. I told her this is carbon fiber. Only high-end sports cars have it. The hotter it gets, the harder it becomes. But she couldn't wait for the car to warm up and just sat on it for selfies. My parents work so hard, and now we're screwed because of her." Impatient, I got into my car and called someone to assess the damage. I wasn't interested in watching him cry. The school hunk wiped his tears and wailed, "How come you're the rich one? Your girlfriend said you work multiple jobs handing out flyers." I said, "I don't work. I hand out flyers, but those stores are mine." I wasn't lying. Half of the pedestrian street, 72 stores, my family owns them. Handing out flyers for my family's stores, what's wrong with that? I closed the car window, not wanting to hear the school hunks crying. At this moment, Alicia texted me, "Since you saw it, let's break up." "Don't blame me. Blame your parents for being losers. I'd rather cry in a Lamborghini than laugh on your bicycle handing out flyers." I fell into deep thought. Since both the Lamborghini and the bicycle are mine, should she cry or laugh? I wanted to reply, "Wait for the court summons," but Alicia had already blocked me. My God, how could she block me? Speaking of the repair costs, she owes me 100,000. Ignoring the fact that it was the girls' dormitory, I rushed into the dormitory and headed straight to Alicia's room. Fortunately, it was morning, so there weren't many people in the dorm. I arrived at her dorm room door and was about to knock when I heard a woman inside ask, "Did you really do what I told you?" Then I heard Alicia say, "Yes, I lied to him that I took the pill." The woman excitedly said, "That's a great opportunity. I calculated your period and knew you were likely to get pregnant these 2 days, which is why I told you to go on a date. Once you're pregnant, you can marry into a wealthy family." Alicia said worriedly, "What if he makes me get an abortion?" The woman replied, "As long as you're pregnant, I have ways to make him acknowledge the baby. You even broke up with your boyfriend for him. Let's see if he dares not to acknowledge it." I was really shocked that Alicia would go this far. She even wanted to marry the campus heartthrob by having his child. I wondered what her expression would be when she found out the heartthrob had stolen my car. I knocked on Alicia's door, and when she saw me, she immediately frowned. She said, "I've already broken up with you. Why are you still pestering me? I'm telling you, being poor is not a problem, but being poor and shamelessly pestering a girl is really disgusting." It seemed Alicia misunderstood, thinking I was there to win her back. There were 2 other people in the dorm, her roommates, whom I knew. Before I could speak, one of her roommates said, "Can you stop hindering Alicia from pursuing her own happiness?" I was completely dumbfounded. So, making out with another guy in a sports car behind her boyfriend's back was considered pursuing her own happiness. I knew this roommate. She was Alicia's best friend, Eva, the one who had just urged Alicia to get pregnant. When I first started dating Alicia, she often made sarcastic remarks, saying things like a man's love for a girl depends on how much money he spends on her. Because of Eva's instigation, I had given Alicia many gifts. Now, I was here to get those gifts back. I said, We can break up, but the phone you are using is mine. You should return it to me. I didn't mention that the sports car was mine, because, knowing Alicia's personality, she might shamelessly cling to me. I had to get my things back first. Alicia immediately frowned and said coldly, "So you're such a petty person. Can't you consider my feelings?" I was speechless. It's not that I'm petty, but you've already wronged me. Why should I care about your feelings? Eva suddenly covered her mouth and laughed. She said, "Can't you see through this poor man's trick? Asking you to return the gift is a pretense. He really wants to make things difficult for you because he can't bear the breakup." Alicia sneered. "So that's it. You think if I can't bear to return the gift, I won't break up with you, right? Have you forgotten? My current man is very rich." She raised her head proudly, and Eva added fuel to the fire. "Don't be afraid, sis. I just checked. The heartthrob's Lamborghini costs millions. Buying you a new phone is nothing to him." Alicia laughed and said, "I can return the phone, but let me make one last call. I'll show you why I broke up with you. Because the gap between you and a rich man is so wide that you'll never bridge it in your lifetime." I wondered if the rich man she was talking about was the heartthrob. I remembered when I sent the car to the heartthrob's house for maintenance. His dad sighed and said making money was tough these days, and what they earned wasn't enough to pay the rent. Alicia made a call, and Eva quickly said, "Put it on speaker so he can hear. Let him know the gap between himself and others." Alicia nodded and, seemingly to show off, put the call on speaker. As soon as the call connected, she said pitifully, "Brother, my boyfriend came to break up with me and wants me to return the phone he bought me. Without the phone, how can I contact you in the future?" However, the heartthrob didn't indulge her. On the other end of the line, the heartthrob yelled angrily, "You damn bitch, don't let me see you again, or I'll beat you every time I see you." In an instant, both Alicia and Eva were stunned. The call was abruptly cut off, and Alicia stared at her phone, unable to say a word. Eva quickly reacted. She angrily grabbed a book from her bed and threw it at me, shouting, "Did you badmouth my best friend downstairs?" When Alicia heard this, she was furious and started shaking. "Yeah, he wasn't treating me like this before. You must have slandered me. How despicable and disgusting can you be?" I impatiently said, "I didn't badmouth you. Just give me back my things." "If you didn't badmouth me, why would he suddenly treat me like this?" I was speechless, because Alicia posted coquettish selfies sitting on the hood of his car. The heartthrob had ended up with thousands in debt. Given his family's income, how could he not be angry? Eva sneered, "That's why I told you to be brave and date the heartthrob, because I already saw through this poor loser. He only knows how to play tricks behind your back." "Disgusting simp," I asked. "So you're saying you were involved in her betrayal of me, right?" Eva snapped. "Betrayal? My best friend was stuck in a mess. Of course I had to pull her out. Should I let her sink into marrying you? She'll thank me for the rest of her life." Alicia grew impatient and said coldly, "You can have the phone back, but I have one condition. You immediately apologize to the heartthrob and admit that you were lying about me." Eva cursed. "Yeah, even if you have to kneel and apologize. Clear my best friend's name." I took the phone and continued, "Why should I apologize for something I didn't do? And we haven't settled our accounts yet." I walked straight into the room and sat at the desk to start calculating. Throughout our relationship, I had given Alicia many gifts and transfers. I wanted them all back. Alicia said disappointedly, "My friends are all here. We once loved each other. Do you really want to embarrass me like this?" I ignored her and continued calculating. Eva suddenly took a photo of me. With a face full of disdain, she said, "Today, I encountered the ultimate loser. I'm going to post this on my social media right now and expose you, so you'll be socially dead." I thought she was just threatening me, but when I took out my phone to check, I found she had actually posted it. She posted my photo with the caption, "OMG, girls, never date a poor guy. The poorer they are, the more trouble they cause. My best friend got stuck with one. It's terrifying." I frowned and said, "This is a personal matter between us. Why do you keep mentioning being poor? You might as well write gold digger on your face." Eva sneered, "Yeah, I do like rich guys. Do you have the right to be jealous? If you were rich, you'd be the one scolding me now, not the other way around. Look at your pathetic self." Eva got more and more agitated. Walking to the window and pointing downstairs, she said, "Rich men drive million-dollar Lamborghinis and are full of ambition and career goals. Poor losers just sit here calculating, making the girls who once loved them feel sick." Another roommate finally couldn't help but speak up. "Alicia, why don't you just pay him back? This is your fault in the first place." In an instant, Alicia's expression changed. Alicia asked, "What do you mean? Are you taking his side?" Eva sneered, "Isn't it obvious? You found a boyfriend with a Lamborghini, and she's jealous, so she purposely insults you, slanders you." The roommate's face turned red with anger. "Don't falsely accuse me. I knew this girl. She was a poor student named Lisa. Before, when Alicia wanted to show off, She had me buy desserts for everyone in her dorm, but Lisa refused to take them, saying she couldn't accept something she didn't earn. Because of that, I had a deep impression of her. Alicia sighed and said, Lisa, I know you're poor and rely on student loans and scholarships to study. I understand if you resent the rich, but you know what? Being a good person is more important than good grades. Lisa's eyes widened in disbelief. Are you saying I'm not a good person? I was completely dumbfounded. Lisa was diligent and hardworking, excelling in both character and academics. And Alicia? She had just been making out with the rich guy in a car, right in front of me, her boyfriend. She dared to say Lisa didn't know how to behave. What kind of nonsense was she spouting? Eva sneered. I know your type. Poor simp girl. You know he broke up, so you're pretending to be a pretentious coquette to win his favor. You know you have no chance with a guy who drives a Lamborghini, so you don't even let a guy who earns $3,000 a month handing out flyers pass. Lisa was so angry she clenched her fists and stood up. I also work part-time as a tutor, and I earn $2,000 a month. Eva looked at her with disdain. To you, even mosquito legs are meat. Yesterday, I saw you picking up food that fell on the table to eat. You poor wretch. Of course, you're not picky about men. Lisa's eyes reddened immediately, her voice trembling with grievance. The food fell on the table, not the floor. What's so poor about that? Enough. Alicia's shout interrupted us. She slammed her phone on the table and said to me, You really embarrass me. My biggest regret is dating you. Hurry up and settle our accounts. Then I can go explain to my new boyfriend. Eva quickly said, Don't be afraid, sis. I'll go with you to explain. The rumors will be quashed, and you'll still be the little darling of a rich man. I couldn't be bothered with these two anymore and focused on calculating our accounts. Of course, I didn't include the repair costs of the sports car. I was afraid Alicia might shamelessly try to reconcile with me. In the end, I figured it out. In the year we dated, I had given Alicia gifts and transfers totaling $18,000. After doing the math, I was stunned. Dating really costs a lot of money. I only spent a few hundred a month on living expenses. I didn't realize it until I calculated it. Not only was I shocked, but Alicia and Eva were also a bit stunned. After all, they were students. Where would they get over $10,000? At first, they didn't believe it, but after checking several times, they finally confirmed my calculations were correct. Alicia looked a bit troubled. $18,000. I can't come up with that right now. Eva panicked and quickly said, Don't be scared, sis. I'll help you pay it back. Your attitude towards this loser now will determine how the heartthrob sees you. Even if we have to borrow from loan sharks, we'll pay the money back. You need to cut ties with this poor guy to have a chance to marry into a wealthy family. Alicia was eventually swayed by Eva's words. She nodded and said, Okay, we'll find a way to borrow it. My family mustn't know, or my parents will kill me. I didn't know what to say. If $18,000 would get her killed, what would happen when the nearly $100,000 repair bill for the sports car got sent to her house? Her parents would probably want to grind her bones to dust. Alicia and Eva immediately started contacting people to borrow money. Surprisingly, it was quite easy for them to borrow money. Classmates each gave a few hundred, lending it to Alicia. Even Alicia was amazed at how easily she could get the money. She couldn't help but say, I have a good reputation. Everyone is willing to lend me money. Eva laughed. It's because of your selfies on social media. You're sitting in a sports car worth millions. Of course, people are willing to lend you this small amount of money. Alicia suddenly realized. She glanced at me and said, Do you see that? That's the true charm of a real man, making everyone admire him and lend me money, hoping to befriend him. If I were still with you, would anyone reach out to help me when I'm in trouble? Eva sneered. Trouble? Being with him is already the biggest disaster in life. They kept borrowing money and finally managed to collect over $8,000. But there was still a $10,000 gap. Eva gritted her teeth and said, I know a guy from the underworld. He can lend me the money, but if we can't pay it back, it'll be terrible. Alicia asked worriedly, What happens if we can't pay it back? Eva replied, Don't worry about that for now. Your new boyfriend is so rich. $10,000 is nothing to him. Eva quickly contacted the so-called underworld person, who appeared to be a professional private lender. He handed over $10,000 without hesitation. After they managed to gather enough money and returned it to me, Alicia threw the phone at me angrily and said, Satisfied now? Get lost. From now on, we should have nothing to do with each other. I nodded and turned to Lisa, saying, Can you come out with me for a moment? Lisa looked at me in surprise, seemingly not understanding why I was calling her. Eva immediately sneered. I knew these two had something going on. As soon as you paid him back, they hooked up. I felt a wave of helplessness. The reason I wanted to talk to Lisa was that she worked in the student council and had the contact directory. Since I planned to send a court summons to Alicia's family, I definitely needed her home address. Lisa blushed deeply, lowered her head, and followed me out. Eva mocked again. You're really following him out? You only deserve Alicia's leftovers. Lisa was almost in tears. I don't have any such intentions. Eva cursed. Pretentious coquette. Keep pretending. No wonder your family is so poor. It's genetic. Look at you trying to please even a guy who hands out flyers. You're so undiscriminating. It's clear what kind of people your parents are. Alicia looked at us with disdain and sneered. Good thing I broke up with him. This useless man is all yours. Let me give you a word of advice. A whore and a dog. May they last forever. I led Lisa out of the dormitory and into the hallway. Lisa whispered. I only spoke up because I was angry. Don't read too much into it. I just want to study hard. I don't have the intentions they said. I nodded. I know. You have to get scholarships and work as a tutor. You don't have time for romance. Lisa asked curiously. Then why did you ask me to come out? I said. I know you have the contact directory. Can you give me Alicia's home address? Lisa immediately panicked. What do you plan to do? Don't do anything reckless. She seemed very worried and even grabbed my hand in her anxiety. Lisa looked into my eyes and said seriously, we may be poor, but we have dignity. Others are at fault, but don't ruin your future because of their mistakes. The atmosphere grew silent, and I didn't know how to respond. Did this girl think I was planning to go down with Alicia's family? Lisa then realized she had grabbed my hand in her haste. She quickly let go, blushing. You're hardworking and determined. You deserve a better life. I believe that in 10 years, Alicia will regret her choices. I said. It won't take 10 years. I've already had the dealership assess the damage. If her family lives in the city, she'll regret it soon. Lisa was stunned and asked what I meant. I said the sports car downstairs was mine. She stared at me, dumbfounded. I explained everything to Lisa. She was speechless again. It wasn't until I showed her the car registration that she believed it was true. When Lisa went to get the contact directory, she walked as if in a daze, probably thinking she was dreaming. Soon, she sent me Alicia's home address. Surprisingly, it was just a few kilometers from the dealership. What a coincidence, right? I called the dealership, and they told me they'd deliver the damage assessment within 10 minutes. Wait, I suddenly remembered. Alicia had given me back her phone. How would I contact her for debt collection later? I decided to temporarily return the phone to her. I went back to Alicia's dormitory. When she saw me return, she asked irritably, "Why are you back?" I said, "I know you don't have a phone. You can borrow this for a couple of days." Eva immediately clutched her chest, pretending to retch. I'm going to puke. I was right. This simp is doing it on purpose, trying to play this on again, off again game with you. Alicia snapped. Do you really take me for a fool? Can you stop pestering me? You're embarrassing me in front of my friends. Just then, Eva's phone rang. Eva took out her phone and said puzzled, Alicia, why are your parents calling me? I was taken aback. The dealership works fast. It seemed Alicia's parents couldn't reach her, so they contacted Eva. Alicia took the phone and asked, Mom, what's wrong? This time, Alicia didn't put the call on speaker, but her mother's yelling was loud and clear. Don't call me Mom. Do you know how much your father and I make? You've ruined us. The sudden scolding left Alicia stunned. She quickly said, Mom, what did I do? Alicia walked to the corner of the dormitory with her phone. As she talked, she suddenly burst into tears. Eva hurriedly asked, Sis, what's wrong? Alicia sobbed. I know why the heartthrob suddenly got mad at me. I dented his car by sitting on it, and now he wants my family to pay. The estimated cost is $137,000. Where is my family going to get that kind of money? Eva was equally stunned. How is that possible? Just by sitting on it, it got dented. The bill was delivered to my house. My mom said she took a picture of it and sent it to me. She told me to check my phone. Alicia couldn't even stand. She sat down on the bed in a daze. Eva bit her lip and said, Don't panic. I might have a solution. Alicia asked, What can you do? Eva said, At this point, we need to see if you're pregnant. If you are, and you're carrying his child, would he really dare to ask you for the repair costs? Alicia immediately nodded. Right. Even if he doesn't care about me, he has to care about the baby, right? Eva said excitedly, If he dares to ask you for the repair costs, go make a scene at his house. Alicia sighed deeply. I initially wanted to use the baby to marry into a wealthy family. Who knew it would only end up covering repair costs? Eva consoled her. Hundreds of thousands of isn't a small amount. Your parents would need 2 years to earn that. And who says you can't marry into a wealthy family? Maybe his parents will insist on you getting married, and not only will they cover the repair costs, but they might even gift you a car. I wondered if I should remind Alicia out of past affection about her getting pregnant with the heartthrob's child. It certainly wouldn't exempt her from the repair costs. I started to speak, but before I could say anything, Alicia shot me a venomous look. She walked over, snatched the phone from me, and said, Don't say a word. Get lost. I don't want to hear your voice. I'm already in a bad mood. Eva also snapped impatiently. Yeah, can you get lost? We're trying to figure out how to calm the heartthrob down. I awkwardly said. How about you read the documents first? Eva yelled at me. Get lost, loser. We have nothing to talk to you about. If you keep pestering Alicia, we'll accuse you of harassment and see you in court. I nodded. Since she said that, fine. After all, we were going to see each other in court anyway. Alicia had already picked up her phone and sent a voice message to the heartthrob. Please, come downstairs to my dorm. I want to talk to you, please. The heartthrob quickly replied, and she played the voice message. I heard the heartthrob's voice. Sure, you slut. I want to talk to you too. Come down now. Alicia put down her phone and worriedly asked Eva, with that attitude, will he really forgive me? Eva said, go down and beg him. I'll go with you. Eva helped Alicia up and glared at me. Get out of the way. I ignored her and turned to leave the dormitory. Just as I was about to go downstairs, Lisa returned. Alicia and Eva walked past Lisa, heading in front of us. Seeing me, Lisa quietly asked, will you make Alicia pay a lot of money? I said, I won't extort her. She should pay what she owes. But I'm thinking. Lisa asked, thinking what? I said, it seems like they're begging the wrong person. Won't it be awkward? When we got downstairs, the heartthrob was already there. The most noticeable thing was the slap mark on his face. He was standing by the roadside, crying and wiping his tears. If I'm not mistaken, he must have told his dad about what happened and received some fatherly love. Alicia and Eva were dumbfounded at the sight. Eva said, seriously, with all the money his family has, he needs to cry like this? Alicia said, maybe he really loves that car. When I went on dates with him, he always took great care to protect it. Eva sighed. They say a car is a man's second wife. It must be true. I rolled my eyes. I don't treat my car like a wife, and why wouldn't he protect it? It's my car. Alicia quickly approached him, looking pitiful. Baby, let me explain. Explain to your grandfather. You bitch. The heartthrob finally couldn't hold back his frustration. He rushed forward, grabbed Alicia's hair, and slapped her hard across the face. Neither Alicia nor Eva expected the heartthrob to hit her. Eva hurried over to try to break it up, while Alicia, feeling wronged, said, baby, hit me if you're upset. It's my fault. I'll never do it again. Can I make it up to you for the rest of my life? I don't need your compensation. The heartthrob was so angry he started punching Alicia in the face. As he continued hitting her, both Alicia and Eva realized something was seriously wrong. The students watching were all shocked. Just a moment ago, Alicia was stepping out of a sports car, admired by everyone. Now, in front of all these people, she was being beaten by the heartthrob, who had her by the hair, punching her face repeatedly. Eva shouted anxiously, you're hitting her too hard. She's a girl. The heartthrob hit so hard he knocked out one of Alicia's front teeth. Alicia, missing a tooth, covered her mouth in disbelief and spit out some blood. She quickly bent down to pick up the tooth, crying out, stop hitting me. My tooth is knocked out. Eva, go get some milk. I nodded and said, smart. If you put a knocked out tooth in milk quickly, there's a chance it can be reattached. Lisa turned to me, saying incredulously, are you taking pleasure in this? I said, how could I? We were in love once. Seeing her like this makes me sad too. Lisa asked, then why are you smiling? I said, I'm just naturally cheerful. People who smile often tend to have good luck. During this beating, Alicia finally remembered me. Covering her mouth, Alicia cried out to me, you're really not a man. Look at how badly I've been beaten, and you still won't help me. I replied seriously, you just told me not to harass you, or we'd meet in court. The heartthrob, who seemed overwhelmed earlier, finally noticed me when I spoke. He let go of Alicia and walked toward me. Eva quickly said, heartthrob, I know you're upset, but do you know how much Alicia has suffered for you? Just now, this loser was bullying her. If she didn't love you so much, would she have put up with this? The heartthrob angrily shouted, shut up, your whole family are losers. Eva didn't dare say another word. It was strange. She had been so aggressive in front of me, but now, facing her rich idol, she was unusually obedient. The heartthrob stood in front of me. I wondered how he would apologize, but then he did something unexpected. In front of everyone, he suddenly knelt down. With tears in his eyes, he cried, bro, I'm sorry. Please forgive me. At that moment, the world seemed to fall silent. Everyone stared at me in shock. The students were dumbfounded. Eva trembled with disbelief. Lisa said nothing, keeping her head down. Alicia, covering her mouth where a tooth was missing, suddenly had blood streaming from her nose. She tried to sniff it back, but ended up choking on it and coughed painfully. No one expected things to turn out this way. Honestly, even I hadn't expected it. I sighed and said, if you'd known this would happen, why did you do it in the first place? Eva asked in a daze, why are you apologizing to him? I said softly, yes, tell everyone why you're apologizing to me. The heartthrob, still crying, said, I shouldn't have stolen your car to show off. I shouldn't have stolen your girlfriend. I'm despicable and disgusting. Please forgive me, I told my dad. But he said our family is already struggling with rent and can't pay for the damages. I nodded and said, your dad works really hard. That's why I sent my car to your family's repair shop. Who would have thought that such a diligent mechanic would raise a son like you? The heartthrob broke down. I'll never do it again. If you can give us more time to pay, I'll do anything you ask. Alicia was stunned. She muttered, what repair shop? What car maintenance? What's stealing a car? I said, the facts are right in front of you. Alicia pointed at the sports car, her voice trembling. That car is yours? I nodded. Yes, it's my car. Her expression froze. Then her lips quivered as she burst into tears. How can you be the rich one? Weren't you the flyer guy? I do hand out flyers, but those are all for my shops. Ignoring her bleeding nose and missing tooth, Alicia hurried to my side, limping. She grabbed my arm, crying, baby, let me explain. I said coldly, I'm not your baby. We're already broken up. I reached out and placed my hand on the heartthrob's shoulder. He swallowed hard, looking at me pleadingly. I said, this is your fault, not your dad's. In fact, I should thank you because you showed me my girlfriend's true colors. You helped me, so I'll help you this once. I thought for a moment and continued, you'll graduate next year. You can negotiate the compensation amount, and once you start earning, I'll allow you to pay it back over 3 years. The heartthrob, surprised, asked, really? I nodded and said, yes, it's your mistake, not your father's to pay for. But knocking out her front tooth is going to cost you a lot. The heartthrob said viciously, I'm not paying a cent. At worst, I'll go to jail and get a record. Anyway, I won't pass any civil service exams. I asked, are you really willing to go to jail rather than pay her a cent? The heartthrob replied, yes, this bitch doesn't deserve my compensation. I patted his shoulder hard and laughed. See, now you're being sensible. I'll waive 1,000 as a reward. Alicia was already dumbfounded. She whimpered, baby, I was really wrong. Can you give me another chance? It's all. She turned around quickly and pointed at Eva, cursing, it's all because of this bitch. Eva didn't respond, her face blank. Alicia cried, you told me to do this. I loved my boyfriend so much. Why did I fall for your tricks? I was tired of watching her drama. I said, remember to take the morning after pill. Don't actually get pregnant. It's not because I care about you, but because I know with your personality, you'd definitely have an abortion if you got pregnant. I don't want an innocent life to be killed before it even sees the world because of your bad character. At that moment, Alicia's face turned ashen. Eva suddenly started crying. She said, are you not going to repay the money I just helped you borrow? Alicia completely turned on her. You caused all this misery. Why should I pay you back? Eva also broke down in tears. I have to repay that money, or I'll be beaten to death. I casually said, if you're afraid of owing money to a loan shark, then just pay it back. Eva cried again. Where am I supposed to get 10,000? Lisa clenched her fists in anger. She said furiously, you mock me for eating food off the table, but your own family doesn't even have 10,000. You're poor too. So why do you bully other poor people? You deserve this. Eva sat on the ground, sobbing uncontrollably. I smiled at Alicia and said, goodbye. Unless it's about repaying money, don't contact me. Otherwise, I'll charge you with harassment. I turned to Lisa and asked, since the bitch has been punished, how about we go have a meal to celebrate? You can ride in my car. Lisa replied, are you drunk in broad daylight? Why would I get in your car or have a meal with you? Realizing she had a point, I awkwardly scratched my nose. I got into my sports car and drove off. Alicia and the heartthrob's family quickly reached an agreement, with both families paying half. It said that Alicia was beaten half to death by her parents at home, even having her leg broken. It really was broken. She had to wear a cast. The worst part was that her leg didn't heal properly. She walked with a limp and might have to break it again to heal correctly. Feeling too ashamed, she didn't return for the last year of college. Eva, on the other hand, did return, but every time she did, people mocked her, calling her a traitor to the poor. To pay back the loan shark, Eva tried desperately to find a job, but her reputation preceded her, and no one wanted to hire her. In the end, she found me, begging for a job. I happened to have a few low-end restaurants, so I had her clean the toilets. She had looked down on the poor, so now she could clean toilets for them. She could only cry while scrubbing the toilets, and word spread about her situation. Some students even came specifically to use the toilet after she cleaned it, just to make her clean it again. After dropping out, Alicia frequently messaged me, begging to get back together. I blocked her, but she would just switch numbers and continue to harass me. Eventually, I did as she wished and sued her. That finally scared her off, and she stopped contacting me. As for Lisa and me, nothing happened between us. She was a self-reliant and disciplined girl, different from Alicia and her crowd. During the last year of college, Lisa didn't contact me at all. After graduation, she went back to her hometown to teach. She said there were many poor children in her hometown, and she wanted to help them. I admired her character and reached out to her a few times, but she wasn't interested in dating. The only time she asked for my help was to see if I could organize a clothing drive for the children in her area. I donated some old clothes, and after that, we didn't stay in touch. I often think about what she said, about having dignity. That remarkable girl. I hope her life takes her far.
My girlfriend can reverse time, but the side effect is that every time she uses it, she loses one day of her life. She thought I didn't know about this. So, to save her childhood friend, she used it 999 times, even killing me 99 times. However, on the 1000th time, I couldn't take it anymore. I said, "Monica, stop. I know it's convenient, but I really can't eat instant noodles for breakfast anymore." And not even leaving me a single packet of seasoning. Not even a dog would eat it. Chapter 1. Looking at the clean bowl of instant noodles without any seasoning on the table in front of me, and my girlfriend, Monica Lou, making lunch for her childhood friend Adam Tang in the kitchen, I sighed and said, "It seems we've gone back to the previous day again." This was already the 1000th time, nearly 3 years, and all of this was because Monica wanted to save her childhood friend, Adam. Adam would accidentally die in an incident tonight. Monica had a superpower that ordinary people couldn't understand: time reversal. Unfortunately, she had tried 999 times but still couldn't save Adam. Many times, she even lost her own life. But no matter what, even if it was just for a moment before she died, she could activate time reversal and go back to the previous day. At first, I tried to stop her without alerting her, because I didn't know what the consequences would be. Fortunately, her behavior was slightly different each time, so I could try different methods without her realizing it was because of me. I tried arguing, pretending to be sick, calling the police, but nothing could stop her from breaking out to save her childhood friend. The worst was when my attempts to stop her were too aggressive. She stabbed me to death with a fruit knife, leaving me to die in a pool of blood. For several days after that, she found it too troublesome to deal with me every day, so she would simply kill me right after reversing time and then go about her business. In total, she had killed me 99 times. She dared to kill me without hesitation because she knew I wouldn't die. If I did, she could just reverse time and I would be alive again. But what she didn't know was that while others would lose their memories due to time reversal, my memory remained intact. Because of this, I didn't dare to reveal myself. Who knew if she would kill me every time if she found out? Every time before Adam died, Monica would hold him and say the same words 999 times, "Adam, don't worry, even if you die, I will definitely save you." Then, the endless time reversal would begin. For 3 years, I witnessed their deep bond. It seemed like they were the real lovers, and I was just a bystander to their love. I was tired. I wanted to live a new life, not repeat the same day over and over. My love for Monica had slowly faded away with each time reversal. So today, I decided to make a change. After Monica finished making lunch, she packed it up and came to the living room, saying the words I had heard countless times, "I have something important tonight. I won't be back. Take care of yourself." After saying that, she prepared to leave. When she passed by the water dispenser, she accidentally knocked over a glass. Before she could react, I threw a cushion from the sofa, catching the glass so it didn't break. She looked at me in surprise. I said nothing, got up, took the car keys from the TV cabinet, and grabbed an umbrella from the balcony, handing them to Monica. She asked in confusion, "What is this?" Before she could finish, I interrupted with a smile. "Aren't you going to drive later? The weather forecast said it would rain, so take the umbrella." Her expression became complicated. She seemed to want to say something but in the end only said, "I'll try to come back early tonight and make you a good meal." I nodded. Watching her hurried back, I sighed again. Actually, I hadn't watched the weather forecast. She had a good memory and never forgot anything. In the 999 time reversals, she had never forgotten to take the umbrella and car keys, but this time, I handed them to her in advance, and she didn't notice anything unusual. She was always thinking about Adam. Perhaps, our love was a mistake from the beginning. Chapter 2. 5 years ago, she used time reversal to save my life. That day, a few of my college classmates and I decided to go swimming in the river. Midway through, there was a sudden flood, and I got a cramp in my leg. My classmates were too far away to help me. In my moment of despair, Monica appeared, jumping in from the shore. Unfortunately, it was too late. As I was about to be submerged by the river, I heard her faint voice, "Don't be afraid, I will save you." At the time, I thought she was just trying to comfort me, to keep me from giving up, but I had no strength left. Unexpectedly, when I opened my eyes again, I found myself back at the moment when my classmates and I were just leaving the school gate, still in a daze. I thought it was all a dream, until a figure suddenly blocked my view. Monica, with her hands on her hips and looking very annoyed, said, "You are not allowed to go swimming by the river. It will be very dangerous there today." I was utterly shocked. My classmates didn't know her either, and we got into a big argument with her, accusing her of meddling in our business. Even though my mind was still trying to make sense of it all, my subconscious told me that she had saved me. So, I called off the swimming trip and promised to treat my classmates to a meal next time, and they didn't blame me. That evening, the news reported a sudden flood, and the river had risen by more than a meter. I then realized that everything I had experienced was not a dream. Monica indeed had the power to reverse time. Monica and I attended the same university. That night, I found her and expressed my gratitude. She patted my shoulder with a smile. "I told you I'd save you, and I meant it." I understood what she meant, only, she thought I didn't know. Gradually, I fell for her and began pursuing her. Everything went smoothly, and we ended up together, because she had saved me and was now my girlfriend. I treated her with all my heart. I was determined to be with her for the rest of my life. Unfortunately, Adam's appearance shattered that happiness. Although they were close and sometimes a bit too intimate, I trusted her. But when Adam died in a car accident that night, a rift formed between us. With countless time reversals, that rift only grew wider. Until today, we had always been seen as an enviable couple. Although it had only been a day, we had actually lived through 999 days together. Those 999 days, because of Adam, I was scolded, dumped, and even killed by her. My heart had long died in this endless cycle. Chapter 3. I checked the time. There were still a few hours left. I finished my bread and milk. Having eaten this meal 999 times, it had lost its taste. After eating, I habitually tidied up the house. Then I packed all my belongings, leaving only a photo frame of me and Monica. It was taken on our 3rd anniversary. She was holding me, her head resting on my shoulder, smiling happily. I remember her saying to me that day, "With me here, you'll always be safe. No danger will come to you." I joked, "What if it's you bringing the danger?" She half-jokingly replied, "I can reverse time. I can correct any mistake I make. I saved you once. I can save you for a lifetime." I hugged her with a smile. "Okay, I'll protect you forever, so you can save me for a lifetime." Looking back, the promises made during the honeymoon phase are not to be taken seriously. When she stabbed me again and again to save Adam, I knew our relationship had reached its end. Perhaps her ability could allow her to correct any mistake she made, but that was for others. If I were like any ordinary person, knowing nothing, perhaps I would still love her now, but I am also thankful. Otherwise, I would have been kept in the dark my whole life. I took out the photo from the frame and tore it in half, placing her half back. I erased the last trace of myself in this home. Finally, I lay on the sofa, savoring the last bit of the home sent with Monica. I didn't want to fall into the endless loop again. This time, I wanted to help Monica. She had saved me once. I would help her save her childhood friend once, to repay her kindness. At the same time, it would free me. 3 hours later, I took my suitcase and went to the garage. I drove to Adam's company building. Monica was pacing back and forth at the entrance, looking very anxious. Adam's phone would be off today, and no one could reach him. When Adam arrived at the company and got out of the car, it would explode immediately. There was a bomb planted under the car. In the past 999 attempts, Monica had tried countless methods. She could never reach Adam, so she never managed to save him. As soon as Adam died, Monica would reverse time again. If only Monica had thought things through more and investigated the situation thoroughly, she could have saved him. Maybe this is what they call swept away by love. Seeing Monica at the entrance, unprepared, I knew that in a few hours, she would go back to noon today again. I parked my car and walked towards her. Seeing me, Monica was stunned, a hint of panic flashing across her face. Why are you here?" I handed her a jacket and said, "You forgot it's going to rain today. It will get cold. I brought you a jacket so you wouldn't catch a cold." She took the jacket, a bit guilty, and said, "Thank you." Chapter 4. She probably didn't expect me to come here, because she never told me where she was going, but she still didn't notice my unusual behavior. However, it didn't matter anymore. I looked at her and smiled. When did we become so distant? Saying thank you? She was stunned again, not speaking. I didn't pay her any more attention and instead got a box out of the car. Seeing this, she frowned and asked, "What's that?" I shook my head, "Nothing, just something I'm delivering for a friend at this company." Her mind was still on Adam, so she didn't think much of it and just told me to go back. But I shook my head, looked at my watch, and said, "I'll stay with you. You never know what might happen, right?" She looked at me, a hint of surprise in her eyes, but the next moment, she said coldly, "I told you to go back, so go back." I didn't respond and just leaned against the wall of the building behind me. "Crazy, stay if you want. If anything happens, don't expect me to save you." She yelled at me a few more times, but seeing no reaction from me, she gave up. After all, she could reverse time as long as she found a way to save Adam. Even if I died this time, she could just start over. She no longer cared about my life or death. The person who once said she would save me for a lifetime ended up hurling insults at me and even tried to kill me. How could she care about one more accident? Before long, a few people Monica had called arrived, reporting to her. They were the ones she had tasked with investigating who was behind Adam's setup. Each time, she arranged for people to investigate from different angles. But with only one day and before anything had happened, what could they find? Seeing the frown on Monica's face, I knew she had failed again. Finding nothing, not long after, it was 8 in the evening. A black sedan approached from a distance. It was the car Adam was in. Monica naturally saw the car too. As soon as it stopped, she rushed over. "Adam, run, there's a bomb." Adam frowned as he got out of the car, not yet understanding. The driver, realizing someone was warning them, knew they might have been exposed. He immediately climbed from the driver's seat to the back, pulled out a gun, and took Adam and Adam's company's boss hostage. "Don't come any closer. If you do, I'll kill them." Monica immediately stopped. The company's security and bodyguards, seeing their boss being held hostage, quickly surrounded the scene. Monica, looking at the hostage situation, shouted anxiously, "Don't hurt him. I can give you money, whatever you want." The hijacker driver sneered at Monica, "Anything? Then strip down and let me see." Monica hesitated for a moment but then prepared to undress. After all, she wasn't afraid of social death, because she could start over countless times as long as she found a way to save Adam. Everything else was trivial. This scene had played out countless times. Chapter 5. Every time Monica took off her clothes, the hijacker driver would make her do even more outrageous things, and she complied each time. She seemed to have entered a dead end, convinced that only by doing this could she save Adam, never considering other methods. To go to such lengths for one person, I didn't know whether to admire her or despise her. Wanting to save someone isn't wrong if it's truly for saving someone. I don't see anything wrong with reversing time, but her method of salvation was achieved by hurting me. She saved Adam 999 times and hurt me 999 times. If she had told me about this from the beginning, would I have let her watch a life slip away before her eyes? After all these times, I've come to understand that, in her heart, I am indeed worthless. I opened the box and then walked to Monica, who was about to take off her clothes, and grabbed her arm. "You don't have to take them off." Monica struggled but couldn't break free from my grip, and she yelled at me, "What are you doing? If I don't take them off, Adam will die." I said calmly, "He won't die. The hijacker doesn't have the capability to kill him." My words infuriated the hijacker. He pulled out the remote control to detonate the bomb from his pocket with his other hand. "Damn it. See if I have the capability or not. There's a bomb under the car. Not only will they die, but everyone here will die too." Monica panicked and shouted, "No, I'll take them off." Monica tried to break free from my hand, but how could her strength match mine? She couldn't break free at all, so she used her other hand to slap me across the face. "Enough, let go." Half of my face burned with pain, but it was nothing compared to the pain in my heart. I sneered, "You're my girlfriend. Would I let you strip in public and let other men see your body?" Monica pushed me, and only then did my hand loosen. She immediately said, "Then let's break up right now. I'm no longer your girlfriend. It's my body, and I can show it to whoever I want." Seeing her desperate face, I smiled. "Fine, we broke up." Hearing my words, she froze. I ignored her and walked up to the hijacker, taunting him, "If you blow up the bomb, you'll die too. Do you dare to press it? See if I dare." The hijacker roared. Adam was also panicking. "Charlie, stop provoking him. If the bomb goes off, we'll all die." I ignored him and continued taunting the hijacker, "Useless scum, I don't believe you dare to press it. Pressing it means you'll die too. You're just putting on a show. The hijacker was completely enraged. He pressed the button on the remote control. Behind me, I heard Monica scream, "No!" A breath later, the bomb didn't go off. The hijacker froze. Everyone present was also stunned. Chapter 6. The hijacker was the first to react. Why didn't it explode? I smiled and said, "Don't you know about signal jammers?" Hearing this, Monica's face also showed a hint of surprise, seemingly recalling the box I had just taken out of the car. Now it was the hijacker's turn to panic. He grabbed Adam's neck and pressed the gun to his temple. "I don't believe you can block bullets too." Anxious, Monica rushed out from behind me, but I grabbed her with one hand. She kept kicking, hitting, and cursing at me. "Charlie, you bastard, let go of me. I need to save Adam." The next moment, a gunshot rang out. Monica froze. A figure slowly fell, but the one who fell was not Adam, but the hijacker. At that moment, I released Monica. She immediately rushed over and hugged Adam tightly. "Adam, I finally saved you." In that instant, I also felt a sense of relief. A group of uniformed officers quickly surrounded us, and a man holding a sniper rifle stood out. He was the one who had fired the shot. I had called the police in advance. Once they confirmed that the bomb couldn't be detonated by the hijacker, the officer decisively took the shot. Watching Adam and Monica embracing and crying, I let out a long sigh. "Monica, I've helped you save him, repaying you for saving me in the river. I owed you my life, and now I've returned it. From now on, we have no more ties." Her face changed dramatically. She immediately let go of Adam and looked at me, her voice trembling. You knew." She swallowed and continued, "Then before." I interrupted her before she could finish. 999 times. "I remember everything. But I don't blame you. I just hope from now on, you won't disturb me anymore. These 999 days, I've truly had enough." With that, I prepared to leave. Eating the same bland noodles for 999 days straight, anyone would break. As I turned to leave, Monica got up and grabbed me tightly. "Charlie, I'm sorry." I removed her hand and looked at her. "You don't need to apologize. You didn't do anything wrong. You saved me, and you also killed me. We're even. I've taken all my things from the house. The place is yours now. I'm leaving." She shook her head frantically and hugged me tightly. "I won't let you go. Do you not want me anymore? Didn't you say you'd marry me? Protect me for a lifetime? Never break up? You're going back on your word." I gently pushed her away and wiped her tears, smiling. "But you were the first to go back on your word. Just now, you mentioned breaking up. We already broke up." Her sobs immediately stopped. I noticed that her face had more wrinkles, and she seemed to have aged 3 or 4 years compared to the first time I recalled her. I finally said, "Use your ability less from now on. Live a good life with Adam." With that, I turned and left. Chapter 7. I was taken back to the station for questioning, because I had called the police in advance and provided them with the information, instructing them to arrive at a specific time and bring a sniper rifle. They were very curious about where I got my information. I brushed it off with a vague explanation. After all, a life was at stake, and it was because of me that a disaster was averted this time. When I left the station, it was exactly 11:30 p.m. I still had time. I hurriedly drove to a cafe across the street from where the accident had happened earlier that day. I went to the fountain in front of the cafe. In the distance, I saw a woman in a white dress standing there. Her name was Hannah, the owner of the cafe. I quickly ran over and pulled her away just in time. The next second, a flower pot fell from above, smashing into the spot where she had just been standing. I looked at the time, 11:51 p.m. Just in time. The first time Monica used time reversal and failed to save Adam. We had a big fight. I was in a bad mood and came to this cafe for a coffee, where I witnessed the owner, Hannah, get killed by a flower pot accidentally knocked over by a resident upstairs. The second time, when Monica failed to save Adam again, I tried to come early to see if I could save her. Except for the times Monica killed me with a knife, I managed to save her every time. It had become a habit, and she always gratefully offered me a cup of coffee. Each time, we chatted for a few minutes. Although the time was short, our conversations were always pleasant. She was the only glimmer of hope that kept me going through the 1,000 loops. This time, she smiled at me again. "Thank you. Without you, I might have died. Why don't I treat you to a cup of coffee?" I glanced at the time, approaching midnight, and smiled, shaking my head. "No need. Maybe I'll come again next time." After all, eating instant noodles in the morning and having coffee at noon every day, even with nerves of steel, I couldn't take it anymore. I was still worried that if Monica activated the time reversal again, we would go back to this afternoon after 12. Hannah didn't say anything, just turned back into the shop, and a few minutes later, handed me a cup of juice. Drink it, it's the last one for today. Since she had brought it, I didn't refuse, but at that moment, I wasn't in the mood to drink. I kept staring at the second hand on my watch. 11:59 p.m. Hannah leaned over. Curious, what are you looking at? As the second hand got closer to 12, my heart rate increased. If it went back again, what would I do? I was so tired, so very tired. I looked at Hannah and said, if I come back next time, remember to get me a Coke. I like Coke. She blinked, as if not understanding what I meant. She really didn't understand, but she still smiled and nodded. Although we don't have Coke in the shop, I'll get it for you next time. With ice? With ice. Just as I finished speaking, it turned to midnight. Chapter 8. At that moment, my heart was racing. 1 second, 2 seconds, 3 seconds. Hannah noticed me standing there in a daze and pinched my cheek from behind, saying, "What's wrong with you?" I snapped out of it, seeing that nothing around me had changed, and I was overwhelmed with excitement. As long as it was past midnight and into a new day, time reversal wouldn't work anymore. Time reversal could only go back to the same day. I had heard Monica mention this once during one of her reversals, so even if Monica used it again, it would only revert to today, and she had no reason to use it anymore since she had already saved Adam. I happily gulped down the juice in my hand. It was sweet, much sweeter than coffee. Today would finally not come again. Then, excitedly, I grabbed Hannah's shoulders and laughed. I'm not coming back, not coming back again. Hannah frowned and asked, why? Is it that you can't stand me? Or can't stand my shop? Or do you think the juice here is bad? I was stunned for a moment, then smiled apologetically and said, no, it's not that kind of not coming back. It's hard to explain. Anyway, I'll come to your shop often from now on. Just no more coffee. I'm sick of it. I want Coke. With ice. Only then did Hannah smile again. I hadn't been happy for more than a few minutes when a voice suddenly came from behind me. Charlie, can we talk? Hearing this voice, I froze, then turned to look at Monica. At this moment, she looked utterly desolate, her hair disheveled. I shook my head and said, no, we have no relationship anymore. You should leave. I have repaid the debt of saving my life. Monica's eyes were red as she looked at me. Charlie, I have always loved you. I saved Adam because we grew up together. He's like my brother. Since we were already at this point, I said, then why didn't you discuss it with me from the beginning? Did you think I wouldn't help you? What reason would I have to stop you from saving a life? After so many years together, don't you know what kind of person I am? Would I stop you from saving someone? Did I not tell you that I trust you? But what did you do? You treated me with harsh words repeatedly and even killed me? Monica kept crying. Charlie, I'm sorry. Really sorry. I was wrong. Will you forgive me? Let's start over. I took a deep breath and said, you don't need my forgiveness. Just go. Monica shook her head and tried to hug me, but I dodged. Charlie, I love you. You're the only one I love in this life. I don't want to leave you. Suddenly, someone grabbed my hand. Chapter 9. Hannah held my arm and then smiled at Monica, saying, Miss, it's not good to cling on. Please don't harass my boyfriend, okay? Monica was stunned at first, then glared at Hannah. Charlie, is this the woman you saved countless times? And now, just one day later, you're together? I nodded, not denying it. At this moment, it was best to let Hannah pretend to be my girlfriend to make Monica give up. In your view, it's just one day, but for me, it's been a full 1,000 days. 1,000 days is enough to kill my love for you and make me fall in love with someone else. Even if you use your ability again, it will only start from the moment I'm with Hannah today. Monica laughed loudly. Ha ha ha. Charlie, do you really think you know me? Suddenly, I got goosebumps and felt uneasy. Monica laughed again. You are mine, always mine. If you won't be with me, you won't be with anyone else either. Now that you know this woman, you can find her in the near future. But what about 3 years ago, 5 years ago, or even over 10 years ago? My face changed dramatically. Monica's expression turned grim as she looked at me. I have one chance to go back to any timeline, but it comes at a great cost. If I go back 10 years and change the original path, I could tell that woman beside you to never come here, or even kill her. What would you do then? I immediately shouted, you wouldn't dare. Ha ha ha, watch me. Monica's whole body began to emit a white light, her hair turning white visibly, and her skin rapidly aging. I was shocked and quickly grabbed Hannah, thinking about where I was 10 years ago. Desperately, I shouted, "If you remember, come to 36 Chin Street, Tian City, Jiangnan." Before I could finish, the light blinded me. When I opened my eyes again, it was dusk, and the sun was about to set. I looked around. Everything seemed both familiar and strange. I quickly checked myself and found an old-fashioned mobile phone. The date on it made my breath quicken. I was back 10 years ago, in my high school years. At this moment, I was still wearing my school uniform. That crazy woman, Monica, really brought us back to 10 years ago, the summer after my college entrance exams. And this was the place where I had grown up. It took me a few days to accept this reality. However, I had no contact with Hannah now and had no idea where she was. If Monica wanted to find her and harm her, then, at this moment, an elderly woman with white hair, looking like she was in her 70s or 80s, walked towards me with a cane. She looked somewhat familiar. She seemed to be Monica. Due to her old age, Monica bent over and looked at me, speaking with some difficulty. "Charlie, do you regret it? You rejected me, and now you won't have that woman either." I wanted to punch her, but with her current age, one punch might kill her, so I restrained myself. Chapter 10. Monica, you successfully made me hate you. Monica trembled all over, leaning against the wall, and her cane fell to the ground. "Hi, R.O. I'm sorry, I just love you too much. I have a way to go back, but only if you agree to be with me again. Then I can use that ability again." "Enough!" I roared, my fist stopping just an inch from her face. "If it weren't for your current state, I would have definitely punched you." Monica, already unsteady on her feet, was startled and collapsed to the side. A figure appeared and caught Monica, preventing her from falling to the ground. Thank you." Monica was about to thank her but froze when she saw who it was. Why is it you?" I was stunned too. The person who came was Hannah. After helping Monica stand up, Hannah let go of her and looked at me, smiling. "You're not the only one who can resist superpowers in this world." Her words made me ecstatic. My mind began to recall the past. Every time I saved her, she would offer me a cup of coffee, until the second to last time. I remember saying to her after finishing my coffee, "Turns out, drinking too much coffee can get boring. Fruit juice is better." Then, the last time, she brought me juice. At the time, my mind was preoccupied with the time reversal issue, so I didn't think much of it. I excitedly ran up to Hannah and hugged her. After a while, I let go. Hannah smiled and said, "I just graduated from high school this year. How about you?" I smiled back. What a coincidence. So did I. Why don't we apply to the same university? We almost said this sentence at the same time. Then, we looked at each other and laughed. I picked up a stick from the ground and handed it to the trembling Monica. "Old lady, at your age, you should stay home more. If it weren't for kind young people like us, you wouldn't even have someone to pick up your cane. Ha ha ha." I took Hannah's hand and we skipped and ran towards the sunset. I suggested, "How about a graduation trip?" "Sure, where to?" "Let's go to your cafe 10 years from now." "Great, sounds perfect."